Welcome to my Roundup 101 workshop. So over the next handful of slides, we're going to talk a little bit about the different contests that are offered at both County Roundup as well as District Roundup, and then just some different specifics within each of those contest areas. So before we even get started, as a quick reminder, in order to participate in any 4-H related activities, you must be enrolled in 4-H Online prior to competing or participating. If you are not enrolled, you will be ineligible to participate in either the county contest or the district contest. So if you plan on participating in one of those, please make sure that you are enrolled in 4-H prior to that occurring. And then also adults, we also ask that you register in 4-H Online as well. That just makes sure that y'all are covered under our liability policy as well if anything were to happen at a 4-H related event. So in order to register, you'll go to 4-H Online at that link there. If you need to create a family profile, you'll need to create one of those, or if you already have one, you'll just log in and enroll your child or yourself. If you have any issues with that process, please make sure to reach out to the extension office as soon as possible, and we will definitely get you the help that you're needing. So again, real fast before we go into what contests are taking place at the county contest, please pay attention to these deadlines. So the contest date will be March 21st at the 4-H building with a registration deadline of March 1. We will allow some late entries for this. However, if you register after that March 1 deadline, it will be a $10 fee to participate. Registration will take place on our county webpage, which will hopefully be updated here shortly with that um, registration form that you'll need. So in order to participate in district, you must participate in the county contest to compete at that district contest. Because there's a limited amount of kids that we can send from the county contest to district contest, we do ask that everyone is there for the county contest to make sure we have the right amount of kids being sent on. And then our district contest is going to take place on April 26th out at the fairgrounds. And the registration deadline for that is going to be April 4th on 4-H Online. And again, must participate in county in order to participate in that district contest. So at our county contest, we have three different contests that we'll do, but this fourth contest that you'll see on the screen will only be offered at district. So we'll have educational presentations, public speaking, 4-H talent showcase at the county contest, as well as district, and then entomology ID at our district contest. So real fast, just take a note that participants are allowed to compete in one Ed Pres or public speaking and one 4-H talent showcase. So if your child wants to do the animal science Ed Pres contest, but also wants to do a 4-H skit, they can do that. Or if they want to do public speaking and a 4-H skit, they can do that. They can't do one educational and one public speaking. They can only pick one of those public speaking aspects and then one 4-H talent showcase. So the first contest we're going to look at is going to be our educational presentations. And this contest is a great way for kids to work on their public speaking skills, and it allows youth to either work with a team member or individually to just show their knowledge of whatever the topic area is that they have selected. So some general rules about our educational presentation contest. So as I mentioned, this could be a team event, but it could also be an individual event. So teams will consist of 1 to 2 members. There's a 12-minute max time, but no minimum time on your presentation. You'll have 5 minutes for questions following your presentation, and then 9 minutes for setup and teardown. So that setup and teardown could be setting up your props, taking down your props, loading your PowerPoint, anything like that. And then for this contest, visual aids are allowed. So for those of y'all that have done our educational presentations before, these categories might look a little bit different. So they have been updated compared to last year. So the new categories are going to be animal science, ag and natural resources, beef, family and consumer education, health and wellness, horse, open, promote 4-H, sheep and goat, safety and injury prevention, STEM, and swine. So in order to get all of those category descriptions, you'll go to that link there, and then it'll also be posted on our county webpage as well. So one of the biggest things to do is make sure when you select your category, your topic fits that category. If there's a chance that it might fit into multiple categories, definitely reach out and we will make sure that you are in the right one. So, where to get started if you're doing an educational presentation? So, the first thing, obviously, pick your category and your topic area. So, make sure you find something that you're interested in. It could be a hobby, it could be an experience, it could be a specific 4 H project that you've just grown to love over the years. And then make sure whatever you do pick is age appropriate. So, if you have a third grader, make sure their topic is third grade knowledge and not something above their age that just doesn't make sense for them to be presenting on. Say you don't know if you don't have any interest or hobbies that you want to talk about, maybe look at some current issues or specific topics that are happening either in our community, your school, the state of Texas, the world, whatever it may be. Just make sure it's something that you're passionate about and interested in so that you're able to talk about it for 12 minutes and really enjoy the process of researching it and stuff like that. So what materials are needed for an educational presentation? So most of the time, kids are going to create a PowerPoint presentation, and then they might have some items to just demonstrate some different things that are happening. So that could be if your presentation is on swine showmanship, maybe you have the pieces needed to work on a showing your pig. And then lastly, for creating your points, make sure you're keeping those important points and culling the points that maybe don't really help out with getting your point across. So, for your PowerPoint presentation, you'll have 5 main slide areas. Obviously, the slideshow is going to be much longer than that, but you'll have your introduction, your main points, your summary and conclusion, your reference slide, and then a Q&A slide. So for your introduction, you definitely want to make sure that there is a bit of an attention grabber and make sure to introduce yourself, your topic, and why that topic is important. And then you can also highlight those main points. So in your body, that's where most of your speaking is going to go. That's where you're going to show and tell what your topic area is, why it's important, what you can do to fix it, whatever that may be. And then if you're going to try and show some of the different stuff you're talking about, make sure that there's a good balance between talking and showing. You can't just stand up there for 12 minutes and talk, but you also can't just fiddle with your props for 12 minutes either. And then definitely make sure that you're practicing the flow of your presentation, especially if you're going to be using props. Make sure that's flowing well, it makes sense, it's in a logical order, everything like that. And then lastly, make it yours. We don't want you to get out there and just recite what you've memorized, but have some personality behind it and stuff like that. And then next you'll have your conclusion where you'll briefly review your main points, and this is your final sell of whatever your topic is that you are speaking over. Then you'll have your reference slides. So you'll want to make sure to list out all references and then use a variety of sources. When you are doing your research, try to stick to .org, .edu, or .gov sites. Other sites are acceptable, but because this is research, we would like you to use those not those organizations, but those sites that end in those three endings. Lastly, we'll have your Q&A slide. So this is your time where the judges will be asking you questions. So make sure you're answering those questions honestly. If you don't know the answer, don't just say, I don't know. Say something like, I'm not 100% sure at this time, but let me research it and get back to you kind of thing. So the questions are all going to be related to your topic area. It won't be anything super crazy, and they'll definitely be age appropriate as well. So our next contest is going to be the public speaking contest. So much like the educational presentation contest, the public speaking contest is a great way for kids to work on their public speaking skills, getting in front of an audience, and saying a speech. The main difference between public speaking and educational presentations is this is an individual contest. There are no visual aids allowed. There is a minimum time of 5 minutes and a max time of 8 minutes, and then questions for 5 minutes. So with public speaking, like the educational presentation, um, tips that I just shared, you'll want to make sure to pick a topic of interest and that it is suitable for your age, as well as suitable for something that is a platform speech or a radio broadcast. So with public speaking, your topic is not set to one category. You can speak on whatever topic area you want, um, and it should be something where you are persuading others regarding an issue. So with forming your speech, you'll start with that introduction, just like Ed presses, a body, a conclusion, and then you will do references, but your references for this will be throughout your speech. So some example topics could be the future of agriculture, the importance of mental health education, impacts of social media on youth, whether you want to increase, decrease minimum wage, bullying in a school setting, should college athletes be paid. And there's a long list of other topics that can definitely be talked about. These were just some of the ones that I had easy access to. So our last contest that we're going to go over that will be at county will be the 4-H talent showcase. So for those of y'all that have participated in our share the fun category or our share the fun contest, this contest took its place. So our 4-H talent showcase is a bit different than all of our other contests that we typically offer. So teams can be made up of 1 to 9 members within the same age division. And then there is a time limit of 4 minutes for setup and teardown, 6 minutes for performance. If you are doing 4-H Talent Showcase and you have props, you need an instrument, music, anything like that, you must provide it for both the county contest as well as the district contest if you move on. So for the props, make sure that they would fit through a 6 foot wide, 7 feet tall door. There's a bunch of prohibited items that you can see here. Please make sure when you are creating your props, purchasing your props, whatever it may be, that none of them fall on the prohibited list. So our 4-H Talent Showcase has 7 different categories for you to choose from. We have our 4-H skit, which is going to be a skit that is 4-H based storyline, either promoting 4-H, community service, a project, or an activity. This could also be a skit specific to a youth issue that maybe 4-H could work to fix. Some of the 4-H skits that have been done in the past have to do with joining 4-H, or even creating or completing a 4-H record book, anything like that. So anything 4-H related can fall into this category. Our next category is our variety showcase, which is an acting category. And this one took the place of our dramedy category that we used to have. So if your 4-H talent showcase doesn't fall into any of the other categories, this is likely where it will fall. The third category we have for this contest is going to be our vocal contest. So if you are big in singing, if you sing in your church, anything like that, this is the category for you. You will have to bring your music if you would like to have that played while you're singing, or if you want to do it a cappella, that is perfectly okay as well. And then the last category within this set is going to be our solo and band. So this act will incorporate both vocal and musical and instrumental talents. So if you are just singing, you need to be in the vocal category. And if you are just playing a musical instrument, you will need to be in a category that we will talk about here in a second. So our musical and instrumental category, obviously, it's going to be you playing some type of music or instrument. So if you're in band, if you play the piano at church, something like that, this will be the perfect category for you. The next category is going to be poetry and prose. And if this is a perfect category for anyone that does oral reading for UIL. So this is going to be an act which will showcase poetry or prose. There is no vocal, music, choreographed routine, anything like that with this. This is just you reciting either poetry or prose. And this does not have to be 4-H related material, but if a 4-H'er chooses to write something about 4-H, they could fit it into this category. Our last one is going to be a choreographed routine. So obviously this is going to be anything that has been choreographed. So that could be anything from twirling, jump rope teams, dance. In the past, we have had flag twirling. So really anything will fit into that, but there is no speaking in this contest. This is just choreographed routines. If it's going to be speaking, then you probably need to fit into one of our other categories. So I know I ran through those pretty quickly. If you have any questions about any of the specific contests that I just talked about, please feel free to give us a call at the office, send me an email, or if you have my cell phone number, shoot me a text, and I will try to answer those questions as soon as I can.